Two of the most asked questions that we are curious about are first, why are there are two or more gospels in the Bible? And second, why is it that all New Testament ministries are the ministries of Christ's life in humans and not the humans' ministry? It is because so many believers have missed the prime fact that Christ lives in the believer and is the life of the believer. First, I believe there are not only two gospels in the Bible, but many. In each dispensation, the Lord has had a different gospel. Certainly, Noah did not have the same gospel that Abraham had. In Acts chapter 28, verse 28, when the gospel went to the Gentiles, by no stretch of the imagination could the Gentile receive the same gospel as had been given to Israel. The salvation of the Lord is radically different between the Jew and the Gentile. Once, Gentiles were saved by believing the Jews' gospel, and now the Jews are saved by accepting the Gentile gospel. We see no way these two can be combined or even made an extension of each other. Second, the key to understanding how God works today in the supernatural realm hinges on the revelation of Christ as the believer's life. If Christ is the life of the believer, then the believer has no life of his own and certainly no message, ministry, or works of his own. When a believer has a revelation of Christ as his life, his only life, there is no room for him to be anything other than a vessel containing Christ. If the believer no longer lives and the life he now lives is the Christ life, and if Christ is all and in all in the believer's life, all ministries and gift operations are of the Christ in him. This is by no means to say that there will no longer be supernatural works. What it means is that Christ is the doer rather than the believer. And by this understanding that Christ is in every born again believer, there will be no special ministries, no big name prophets or apostles. Christ lives in all believers, and the Holy Spirit can direct anyone to a time of helping others, even supernaturally. The gifts of the Spirit taking a radical change in Paul's teaching when he had a revelation of Christ as his life. In 1 Corinthians chapter 13, Paul introduces the fact that certain of these ministries would pass away when that which is perfect has come. These are gifts of the Spirit of Christ. For he alone is the gifted one, and the gifts are operated by the Holy Spirit who lives in our soulish part as the need appears. Remember, Paul spent about 3 years in the Pentecostal ministry before he had a revelation of Christ as his life. The revelation of Christ as the believer's life was that which is perfect. The believer is not perfect, but the new life in the believer, Christ, is the perfect. Salvation in grace is perfect because Christ in the believer gives perfect spirit salvation. The believer is not saved from his old life because it is crucified with Christ, and he is only saved by Christ in him. The salvation of the soul is a lifelong ordeal and has to do with the believer's love affair with the Christ in him. To God be the glory. God bless you.